Today we will discuss three topics. The first topic which I am going to discuss is corporate social responsibility. Now, the corporate social responsibility has become very important topic, and some universities, even some business law departments, are offering full-fledged courses in corporate social responsibility, where students study this topic for full semester. So, corporate social responsibility has so many challenges as well. Lot many countries are trying to develop regulations around this phenomena, which is corporate social responsibility. So just for the sake of introduction, I have prepared these slides, and I will share this phenomena, what is corporate social responsibility, and then I will leave this on your own discretion if you consider that we should force companies, or companies should be abide by the laws which force them to do something which is called as corporate social responsibility. So a little bit about its theoretical background. If you remember yesterday, we discussed about theories of corporate governance, and one of the theory which I mentioned, it was social contract theory. I tried to argue from the perspective of social contract theory the importance of corporate governance. So I just want to go back to the same phenomena, social contract theory. What was the social contract theory? Social contract theory was that in the state of nature, when there was no government, we, the people, gave power to certain people among ourselves. So we asked certain people among ourselves to be our leaders. So we told them, okay, you can rule over us. We give you the right to rule over us, but in return, you should make sure that we are also getting our rights. Which rights? Our human rights, or life, liberty, and property. This was a sort of contract between people who were living in the state of nature, and then the state emerged. So then I told you about its corporate governance dimension. And I told you that companies are making profit in the society. So companies are making profit in the society. We do a contract with the companies. We say to the companies, okay, you are making profit. So let's uh, uh, give something back to the people as well. You are making profit, so you can make profit, and in return do something good for the people, something good for the society. So this is the idea behind corporate social responsibility, that these companies who are making profit out of the society, we expect them to do something good for the society as well. This is, it's a little bit you can say that theoretical backing which I can give you with regard to corporate social responsibility. So ethics or morality is very complicated. There are so many theories available. Those of you who have interested in jurisprudence or who have taken courses in legal philosophy, they know that we often discuss about moral dimension of everything. So ethic is tougher than you think. And there are two quotations I will read. The first one, excuse me, business has to take account of its responsibility to society. So business has a responsibility towards society in coming to its decisions, but society has to accept its responsibility for setting the standards against which these decisions are made. It is very important that society has to accept its responsibilities for setting the standards against which these decisions are made. So in the later slides, we will discuss what do we mean by responsibilities of companies. When we say the companies have responsibility, then what we mean by responsibility. So what are the standards and preferences of responsibilities? Okay, so there are different names or alternate phenomena with regard to corporate social responsibility, or we use different words to explain corporate social responsibility. So corporate social responsibility, you can call it, or many people call it, business ethics. It also includes their responsibilities towards people who are working with them, or the responsibilities towards society. Then a word corporate citizenship is used. Corporate citizenship as an alternate to corporate social responsibility. And then sustainability, corporate environmental management. Many people think that the environmental or ecological dimension is the main, the variable about which we should be concerned of. Okay, so corporate social responsibility, when we say corporate social responsibility, then we talk about corporate environmental management. And now many countries by law expect companies to submit an annual environmental audit report. As the companies submit their financial audit reports, similarly, by law, countries expect companies to submit annual ecological audit report. The idea is that the government wants to know that how much impact they are causing on the environment, like how many coffee cups have been used, how many people, how many papers have been used by this company. So this gives an idea that how much impact this company is creating on our ecology, because government is paying for the ecology, and this money comes from your money which you pay as tax. And then business and society, business and governance, business and globalization, stakeholder management, and just governance, all of these words are used as an alternate to the corporate social responsibility. So let's define corporate social responsibility. What is the definition of corporate social responsibility? In general terms, corporate social responsibility encompasses the responsibilities that businesses have to the society within which these businesses operate. So this is something which I told you earlier in today's lecture, that businesses, they are operating in a society. They are making money out of the society. So they have certain responsibilities towards the society as well. Okay, so this is called as corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility encompasses the responsibilities that businesses have to the societies within which these businesses operate. So this is the idea behind corporate social responsibility. Now, a sort of bookish definition: the European Commission defined corporate social responsibility as a concept whereby companies decide voluntarily to contribute to a better society and a cleaner environment. Yes, so it is more ecology oriented definition. So European Union, when it comes to the corporate social responsibility, they are more worried about ecological aspect of companies' responsibility. So they think that the companies should be responsible towards society, and by saying this, they are only concerned about ecologies, that the companies should take care of the ecology. Specifically, corporate social responsibility suggests that a business identify its stakeholder groups and incorporate their needs and values within its strategic and operational decision making process. So this is a more kind of uh, operational or functional definition of corporate social responsibility, that business should identify its stakeholders, all the stakeholders. Society has many groups, so all of these groups are its stakeholder. um, and environmental organizations separately, they are also stakeholders, and incorporate their needs and values within its strategic and operational decision making process. So whenever company takes important decision, no matter it is related to day-to-day chores of the companies or about thinking about launching a new product, they should take care about the demands and expectations of all of these stakeholders. So there are different models which describe corporate social responsibility. So three main models, or three main, you can say that theoretical frameworks, we will try to see. So the models of corporate social responsibilities are based in both ethics and economics. So the idea is that corporate social responsibility is an economical phenomena. It is a question of economics, as well as it is the question of ethics. If you remember, we just discussed about different synonyms, and we said that some people call corporate social responsibility as business ethics. So it is as important for economists to think or to have concerns about corporate social responsibility as the moral or ethical scientists have. So the first model, just pay attention. I know that these theoretical concepts might be very boring, but just pay attention, because these are very important concepts to understand the background, and they will help you in resolving your legal cases. So the first model of corporate social responsibility, I am not going to read this. If you want to read, you can read. I will just explain you in simple word. The first model is corporate citizenship model. Corporate citizenship model. So corporate citizenship model. So what is the idea? The idea is that as you are a citizen of your society, so if you are a citizen of your society, definitely you will care about your society because you are living in this society. So corporate citizenship model in simple word is that companies are the members of society. So companies like humans, they live in the society. So they should take care of the society. So this is the corporate citizenship model of the corporate social responsibility. And we can see the example. Ben and Jerry ice cream, very famous ice cream brand, most recent social and environmental assessment, the company explained that it seeks to create a broader, bolder vision of how it can leverage its reputation and expertise to advance its social mission. Different companies on and off introduce different environmental initiatives. No matter it is just going for simple, kind of cleaning, cleaning campaign, or going into the poverty areas and empowering the people. So no matter how they try to contribute, but responsible companies, they on and off introduce different schemes. For example, in case of this Ben and Jerry, their recent social and environmental assessment which they have contributed to, they have a vision that by the year 2025 they will be using 100% renewable energy. Okay, so as a company, they took an initiative and launched different campaigns and different strategies, and they are trying their best to achieve one goal. And the goal is that by the year 2025, they will be using 100% renewable energy. Okay, so I think it is very good initiative, because from the corporate citizenship model, what does it say? It says that companies are the members of the society. They live in the society, so they should be worried about the society. So they are the citizens of the society, and every citizen should have some sort of concerns with regard to its society in which he is living. The second model is social contract model. I explained earlier in the beginning of this lecture. Once again, the idea is that we have a contract with the companies. What sort of contract? We ask the companies, okay, we allow you to make money in the society. You can make money in the society, but in return, you should take care of the society as well. So this is the idea behind social contract. We make a contract with the companies. We say, okay, you can make profit, but in return of this profit, do something for the people as well, do something for the society as well. And the third, the third model is the enlightened self-interest model. Enlightened, as the name suggests, enlightened means someone consciously knows what is right. So the idea is that According to this model, we need not to worry. We need not to worry about the companies, because companies automatically know what is good for the society. So this is the idea behind the enlightened self-interest model, that instead of pushing them, instead of forcing them, making strict rules and regulations with regard to corporate social responsibilities, we should let it be on the companies, because companies are enlightened, and it is in their self interest that they should do something good for the society. So if they will do something good for the society, society will be happy, and ultimately the businesses of these companies will flourish. So these were three theories of corporate social responsibility. And one more concept is corporate social responsibility is considered as political economy, the rights and responsibilities assigned to the private industry. So without going into depth of this, the main idea is that and when we will see into some of the cases, we will see that many companies, they manipulate so many laws and regulations just to save a little bit of money or increase their profitability, or they don't have confidence in sharing the profit with the society, because they think that society has not contributed anything towards this profit, and this profit is only their sole profit, so that's why they have no obligation to share it with the people. And so many dimensions, political, social, economical, and legal dimensions emerge, in which the stakeholders strive that companies should be sharing their profit with the people. So the question is, to whom does business owe this social responsibility? We have seen that corporations are also citizens of the society. So the question is, to whom does businesses owe this social responsibility? Firms exist in relationship with many other stakeholders, and these relationships can create a variety of responsibilities. Different stakeholders have different demands, different stakeholders have different standards and preferences. It may not be possible to satisfy the need of each and every stakeholder in a situation. So company can do something good for the employees. If they will do something good for the employees, maybe they will have no budget for doing something good for the environment. And if they spend money on environment, maybe they will have no money for spending on the well-being or healthcare of the employees. So they have to do compromises. Therefore, social responsibility would require decisions to prioritize competing and conflicting responsibilities. So it is very difficult sometimes for the companies to manage or to set different standards and preferences, that which type of responsibilities they should be fulfilling, because there are so many stakeholders of the company, and all of these stakeholders, they have their different expectations. So what is responsibility? It is the question I will not discuss. I will leave it on you. And social responsibility, what is a business should or ought to do for the sake of society? This is the understanding, general understanding behind the corporate social responsibility. So responsibility can be very subjective, but for the sake of businesses, we expect only one sort of responsibility, which is to do something good for the society. The companies should be doing something good for the society. Now, who is to decide what is good or responsible? Society should decide what is good or responsible. Individuals should decide what is good or responsible, or government should decide what is good for responsible. So if government decide what is good for society and what companies should be doing, they make very strict laws. Okay, so it is also debatable, and in many fractions of society, and in many part of the world, might see people arguing about this, that corporate social responsibility should be imposed by law by making strict rules and regulations. But on the other side, many people argue that no, companies are conscious enough, companies have become very responsible, so we should not force them, because profit is kind of a right of the company. So if they are making profit, they are not obliged to share this profit with the society. So different views are there. I don't want to influence on your thoughts, so I will let it be with you how you see this. You think that companies by law should be forced to do something good for the society, or we should not interfere and we should let companies decide how they treat the society? And then when we talk about corporate social responsibility, like corporations should be doing something good. Similarly, there is a phenomena which is called as ethical consumerism, or responsibility which is expected by the consumer. Okay, so socially responsible consumer. And two important definitions: ethical consumerism, ethical purchasing, moral purchasing, ethical sourcing, ethical shopping, green consumerism. All of these words, they represent ethical consumerism. It is a type of consumer activism that is based on the concept of dollar voting. So what is dollar voting? Dollar voting means client is always right. Clients will promote the products by buying this product. Okay. So if someone is not buying the product, it means that the product is not a good product. It has failed the dollar voting. Okay. So the idea behind ethical consumerism is that the people, by promoting the business, give their will or give their opinion about this product. Okay, so this is the idea behind ethical consumerism. And consumer ethic is a under level uh, opened specialism of business and marketing ethics, within which most publications have focused on bad rather than on good ethics, and on consumers dishonesty rather than on consumer idealism or consumer responsibility. So the consumer ethics, I will explain with a very simple example. For example, some people like leather products, not ordinary leather, but they like exotic leather products. For example, um, a belt made of snake, or crocodile shoes. Yes. So these sort of things, they are against the ethics, that you are killing animal for their own, for your own benefits. Yes. And for your own luxury, I would say. So this is against the consumer ethics. The idea is that the idea behind socially responsible consumer is that companies are worried about companies are worried about you know society. Similarly, the individuals should also worry about society. So if it is the responsibility of the companies to do something good for your ecology, I mean environment, for other people who are living in the society, similarly it is the responsibility of the individuals or consumers to do something good for the society and ecology. Okay, so here is an example how we usually do the dollar voting. So on those of you who are my student and have studied some courses from me, I have shared this case with you. Very quickly, on the left side you can see a mother. She's holding her baby in a very natural posture, I would say. Usually in many part of the world, people carry the kids like this. But on the right side you can see this baby cart or pram, which is branded, and it is a couple of €100 product. So the companies sometimes make the mindset of the mothers that if you are not using this baby cart, or if you are not using this product, you are a bad mother. Yes. So if you are not buying this product of couple of €100, you are not taking care of your babies. Okay. So by making this mindset, they try to sell their products. It's mean that this behavior or this attitude or of making the mindset of the individuals, forcing them psychologically to buy their product, is definitely not demonstrating corporate social responsibility. Okay. And then there is a phenomena which is called as ethical production. Is there any question? You can say manipulation. uh, he asked the question that is that the same as manipulation. So I think uh, manipulation is now a negative connotation. A very interesting word has emerged, and you can Google it and you can see this is called as neuromarketing. Neuromarketing, neurological marketing. Yes, neuron, in the brain, neuromarketing. By using different types of psychological tactics, companies do the branding and marketing of their products. So they don't think that it is bad. They say that it is an innovative marketing strategy, which is called as neuromarketing. Okay. So the phenomena is ethical production. Ethical manufacturing is a holistic approach to the marketing, to the manufacturing process that focuses on good health for all involved. Okay. So sustainable development goals also expect. And ethical production, in very simple words, you can say that the companies should make products which are useful for the society. Like in the first class, I told you that these chargers or hand frees which we use for our mobile phone, they are of very bad quality. And many argue that they make these dumb design deliberately. They make these bad designs, bad hand frees or bad chargers, so that we buy them again and again. Just imagine if your charger is very good and this is very durable, and you buy once your charger, and then you will feel no need of buying this charger ever. The businesses will go down. Yes. So they deliberately make these chargers or hand frees or other mobile phone gadgets, so that people should buy them again and again, or all other home appliances. You know about this. This is against the phenomena of ethical production. The ethical production idea is that product should be good for the society, and there are so many legal cases pending in the courts, in the consumer courts, with regard to the question of ethical production. A very recent phenomena, you might have heard about this, iPhone. Yes, iPhone. So many people, they felt that their iPhones become slow, and then there are empirical evidences. And I'm sure that you have heard about this, that iPhone deliberately slow down the speed of their mobile phone, so that the people should buy the new model. Yes. So it is, I think it is against corporate social responsibility. It is against ethical production, that that you deliberately do such things just to sell your products. Okay. And ethical marketing, this is what I was talking about, that your marketing approach should be ethical. You should not be playing with the sentiments and emotions of the people. Yes. Some products, for example, in certain countries, especially in Asian countries, emotional ads, they are they are promoted. You can open a TV and you will see that an old man, his daughter is getting married, and the daughter says that I need this mattress for my bed, and he gives this mattress to the daughter in the dowry. And then the ad says that this is for what you have been making money and saving money to give good dowry to your daughter. These sort of things, just to play with the sentiments and emotions of the individuals to sell their products. This is called as unethical marketing, and the marketing should be ethical. So here is an example. So on right side, on right side you can see women's vegan shoes. Women vegans shoes. So vegan is vegetarian, yes, vegetarian. So women's vegan shoes, they are doing the marketing by saying women's vegan shoes. Do you see any problem in this? Do you see any problem with this women's vegan shoes?
It's said that these shoes can buy only vegans. However, those who eat, meat, especially it's discrimination, because they made it specially for them, and who eat meat, however, who eat meat, they can't buy it.
Yeah, you are right, but the idea which is in my mind is that when you say women's vegan shoes, it's mean that you have not used animals. Yes, like vegan food and vegetable food and non-vegetable food. Yes. So when you say women's vegan shoes, it's mean that none of the animals have been hurt. I mean, there is no leather in these shoes. On the other side, you are creating an impression that people who are using non-vegan shoes, they are doing something wrong. Yes. So women vegan shoes, on the one side, you are promoting your product. On the other side, you are promoting vegetarianism. And thirdly, you are saying that people who are using non-vegan shoes, which means leather shoes, they are bad people. Okay. Did you understand the point? So don't buy this jacket because it is made up of leather. And when you buy this jacket, it's mean you have to kill some animal. So uh, this is a type of ethical marketing, for some people unethical marketing. Okay. So people who say women's vegan shoes, they say that they think that it is ethical marketing to promote vegan products. On the other side, the competitors say that no, it is unethical marketing, because by saying vegan shoes, you are discouraging people to buy our products. Yes. And killing animal for leather, it has been debated from century, and still this question is uh, not resolved. So we should let it on the discretion of the people. People should decide. So ethical marketing for you can be unethical marketing for me, and this can lead to the serious consequences. And most of the time these things end up in the court, and then lawyers have to argue from different dimensions. Okay. So business platforms, I'm just going to conclude this corporate social responsibility with the some of the very contemporary phenomena. The world is going towards digitalization, and a new word has emerged which is called as corporate digital responsibility. So parallel to corporate social responsibility, the new phenomena is corporate digital responsibility. And you might have heard this, companies are being worried about data protection, personal data protection. Yes. These sort of things, they are included in corporate digital responsibilities, that the companies should take care of individuals' data. It is their responsibility. So key issues in corporate social responsibility. So I have just listed a couple of dimensions in which you can find legal cases. Child labor, forced labor, right to organize. Right to organize means meeting. Yes, meeting is very famous phenomenon in Central Asia. Safety and health. So you may find so many cases with regard to labor rights. Yes, and labor rights are also about the salaries, working hours, minimum wages, maternity leaves. Yes. For example, in some countries, when females take maternity leave after the pregnancy, after the delivery of the baby. In some countries, fathers also get paternity leave, for example, in Scandinavia. So in Uzbekistan also, if you look into your labor code, there is paternity leave for the father as well. I'm not sure it is 1 week or 3-4 days, but there is a paternity leave for the fathers. So as the females get maternity leaves, fathers also get paternity leaves. So these sort of things, they are legal issues. And environmental conditions, I talked about it extensively. Environmental damages, so many cases are pending in the courts. Human rights and poverty alleviation, creation of jobs, public revenue, skills and technologies. So these are some of the concerns with regard to corporate social responsibility, and lawyers usually they on and off end up into the court arguing against each other, proposing and defending their parties. Because as I mentioned in the earlier example, that what you think is ethical can be unethical for the other company, or what the company think is ethical can be unethical for the individuals. Yes, so there has been number of international initiatives, and legally speaking, international instruments, international legal instruments, they are the basis of our national laws. And some countries, without any modification, they simply incorporate these international legal instruments into their local legislation. And especially in the post-COVID world, when you know, the borders have theoretically been eliminated and the trade is flourishing, cross-border trade has increased a lot because logistical instrument has improved. These international instruments have become very important because certain companies who are who are taking care of these laws and regulations, international legal instruments, they expect their partners, their clients, and their consumers to abide by these rules and regulations. Okay, so many companies, they expect their partners, their consumers, that they should also follow the rules and regulations. That's why these international instruments have become very important. And there is an ISO standardization as well, ISO 26000, which is about social responsibility. And many companies, when they get this certification, they use it for marketing, and they very proudly, tell everyone that we are ISO 26000 certified socially responsible company, that we take care of corporate social responsibility. So here is a technical roadmap of this ISO 26000. And finally, I will just conclude this topic of corporate social responsibility by discussing a little bit about corporate digital responsibility. So corporate digital responsibility means companies should take care of the individual's data. Companies, if they are going technology friendly, they should take care of the capacity building of the individuals. And I give this example in many classes, that just imagine that there was an old accountant, old lady, and she was about to retire in 1 or 2 years. And then a young lady comes who has extensive knowledge about accounting softwares, and she's very good at computer. So the company will simply replace this old lady with this young lady who is much more proficient in computer programming. And then this old lady who was about to retire in next 2-3 years, she will say, oh, it was injustice. I was about to retire and I have been replaced by this young lady. uh, so 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 these sort of things, they sometimes lead to some legal consequences. The companies who care about their employees, who are socially responsible, they should accommodate the demands of the people with regard to capacity building, and the people who uh, are about to retire or who have no technical background, they should accommodate their needs as well. So one dimension is this corporate digital responsibility, which I think that is very important. The other dimension is that companies collect data. Data is oil, data is money. So companies collect data and they use this data in all dimensions to make money. So it is the responsibility of the companies to protect the individual's data. They should not be randomly sharing this data with everyone. For example, Yandex taxi, when you order the Yandex taxi, taxi driver comes, so you can open the information of the taxi driver and you will see that this taxi driver has been sent by a third party, some local taxi company. It's mean that Yandex has shared my data with so many other companies, and I don't know if they are demonstrating corporate digital responsibility, or maybe they are also sharing my data with other third parties. Okay, so this is very important dimension, new contemporary dimension of corporate social responsibility, that companies should take care of the individual's data, and this is called as corporate digital responsibility. So ladies and gentlemen, the first topic I have covered today. Do you have any question with regard to corporate social responsibility? Or did you understand what is corporate social responsibility? So there is a question in chat. Yes. But what if we have agreed with terms and conditions while registering for Yandex? Yes, it is absolutely fine that you have agreed with the terms and conditions of the Yandex. Only last night I was reading about it. The party which draft the contract, he has no right to interpret the contract if there is an ambiguity or if there is a matter of interpretation comes. For example, if you draft a contract, then I will interpret the contract. If I draft the contract, you will interpret the contract. So if I have signed terms and conditions which you had proposed me, in case of conflict, I will do my own interpretation. This is the legal answer, okay? Now coming towards the corporate social responsibility dimension, do you think that these companies give any chance or any room for individuals to negotiate these terms and conditions? Terms and conditions, even they are expressively mentioned, but most of the time these conditions are implied conditions, because on and off they keep these conditions updating. So I think that there should be a freedom, or there should be some sort of options for individuals to negotiate, or at least simply back up if they are not satisfied what company is proposing. I give you an example. I am using this mobile phone application WeChat. WeChat is the Chinese mobile phone application. And many times it happens that WeChat, when I am using this WeChat from now couple of years, yes, since I was a student in China. So whenever there is a new update on WeChat, the WeChat gives you an option that, okay, you want to accept the terms and conditions. If you don't want to accept the terms and conditions, you can download your data and you can stop using the application. Okay. So they give you an option of downloading your data and stop using the application. But in many of the programs which we are using, including Yandex, there is no option of negotiation. and even interest, if we take this example, even it is very interesting to see that sometimes you yourself become worried. You open the Yandex taxi, you order the taxi, and he will tell you the options where you can go, and he has stored the data because you went to this place last week, and he will tell you that pasledni ras we khali at sudawa. It's mean that they even know that where you are going, when you are going, which time you went where. So for some people, they think that it is good. I am being facilitated, but I, as a foreigner who is working in Ministry of Justice, and my mobility is sensible. I don't want anyone to monitor my activities. I don't want anyone to, spying on me. I don't want anyone to just look into uh, where I went yesterday at this time. Okay, so it is subjective question, but on the other side, we should see when it comes to the terms and conditions that how much maneuverability is being given to the individuals. Okay, so this is very interesting question, and many problems emerged from this. So many legal cases might be pending in your courts as well. So I think we should study more about this, and we should explore more dimensions of this. Let's look into another topic. Let me share the slides. Okay, so this is about the corporate governance risk. Corporate governance risk, and then we will discuss about corruption and different financial crimes. So very quickly about the risk. If you remember from yesterday when we were discussing about the task of members of board of director, we discussed about risk management. We said that it is an important task, and one of the dimension of corporate social response corporate governance is to make strategy and policy. So risk management strategy or risk strategy or risk policy, they are very important functions which we expect from our members of board of directors to do. So here is an example, actually two examples. On the right side you can see BlackBerry, and on the other side you can see Kodak. So BlackBerry was a very luxurious telephone in his time, yes. So if you have BlackBerry, you are krutoi chilavik, and BlackBerry was a luxury which only the very rich people could afford. And if we talk about Kodak, I mean, very old company who have extensively worked on the development of cameras, and many of our memories are stored on these films. Both of these companies, they failed, yes. So what happened? Kodak failed to foresee how quickly the world would embrace digital images. So they did not do the risk management with regard to the digitalization of photography. So they just focused on their traditional photography, and they did not do anything with regard to the digital photography, and ultimately they had to close, yes. And similarly, we talk about BlackBerry, as I told you, that it was very beautiful in terms of its physique, in its programs, its colors and display, but they could not compete with the Apple's iPhone, and today they have been replaced by many other companies including Apple iPhone. So the idea is that these very successful companies who were the kings of their times, who were ruling the market at their time, they could not do risk management. They could not foresee the upcoming threats of similar products, and ultimately they have to close their business. So risk profiling, strategy, policy, and risk supervision, These are the important tasks of members of board of director. Running a business or an enterprise involves risk. Even if you choose to do nothing, unexpected events may occur. Can you think of an example? One unexpected event which recently occurred to our businesses? Yes, COVID. So you you opened a business. You were very uh, you know uh, you were very hopeful that everything will go fine. And suddenly, what happened? COVID-19 came. People lost their millions and billions. Some people lost their last amount of money, last penny. So even your business is going very well, even if the things are going perfectly fine, what happens? Something unexpected can happen. Yes, maybe earthquake or fire or environmental disaster, regime change, anything can happen. The challenges for the board is to balance risk with acceptable rewards. Boards must understand the exposures of company to the risk to determine how the risks are faced and to ensure that they are handled properly. Corporate governance involves creating business values while managing risks. So, ladies and gentlemen, very important task of members of board of directors. Management, management, they run the company on day-to-day basis. Who thinks about the future? Members of board of directors. It is the responsibility of the board to make a policy or strategy with regard to risk management. So here you can see some of the risks for which contemporary businesses are facing. A board is responsible for determining the nature and extent of the risk. A global risk management survey conducted by the insurance group in 2019 indicated these risks: economic slowdown, dollar price goes up, inflation, anything can happen with the economy, damage to the reputation. One of the members of board of director, any scandal comes and people stop buying the product. Yes, accelerated rate of charge, change in market factor, business interruption, increasing competition, cyber attacks, data breach, commodity price risk, cash flow, liquidity risk, failure to innovate, like in the case of BlackBerry and Kodak, they did not innovate. Regulatory and legislative changes. When you made a company, the law was different. When you started business, law changed, and now this change in law is directly impacting on the profitability. So it is the regulatory and legislative change. So these are types of risks. They are the question of law. On the other side, responsibility of the members of board of director to foresee and do something in advance. If situation become a cyber attack happens, what they will do? If a change in regime happen, political instability, or if the government makes a new law, how they are going to manage it? This is the responsibility of members of board of director. Enterprise risk management. Enterprise risk management in business includes the method and processes used by organizations to manage risks and seize opportunities related to the achievement of their objectives. Enterprise risk management provides a framework for risk management which typically involves identifying event and circumstances relevant to the organization's objective, threats and opportunities. Threats include competition, threats includes legislative changes, threats includes inflation, and opportunities. Opportunities mean in something which helps them to make money. Assessing them in terms of likelihood and magnitude of impact. So if you are a businessman, how likely is it that law will change? So you can predict in advance that government may think about making new laws. For example, if it is e-commerce business, or if you are launching a cryptocurrency company, it is very likely that government will make new laws. So in terms of likelihood and magnitude of impact, determine a response strategy and monitoring process. By identifying, addressing risk and opportunities, businesses, they protect and create a value for their customers. And enterprise risk management is evolving to address the needs of various stakeholders. So all the stakeholders, they require different sort of risk management or risk management approach. Ladies and gentlemen, levels of risk at different levels of companies' functionality, the type of risk might be different: strategic, managerial, and operational. Managerial risk reflects hazards that could occur from the organization's activities, product liability, third-party risks, or local pollution. Operational risk occur when within the enterprise: fire, accident, theft, cyber attack. Yes, anything can happen with the operations. Your truck in which your products were going, it disappeared, or it got into an accident which was catastrophic. Your products destroyed. These are operational risks. Yes, strategic risk and duties of the board. The duty of the board is to ensure that significant risks facing its companies are recognized. First of all, you should identify the risk. Then you should do the assessment of the risk. Then you should do monitoring. You should monitor it at each stage as a member of board of director, as a board. So first you will identify the risk, you will assess the risk, that it is big risk or small risk, and then you will monitor. Yes, you will monitor throughout the process. So these are the benefits. Of course, benefits are obvious. Benefits means if you will monitor the risk, if you know what is the risk, there will be no problem. So this is the benefit, good for the business. There are different approaches, different persons assigned different responsibilities. And here is a comparison. Just let's see 1 or 2 minutes on these slides. Strategic risk, managerial risk, and operational risk. So strategic risks: competitor activities, competition. A new company comes who starts selling the products, similar products as you are selling. Board level failing, this is a managerial or management level risk. And then operational risk: fire, explosion, flood, earthquake, or even data, cyber attack. And you can see all of them, no matter it is strategic risk, management level risk, or operational risk. If you read all of them, we have developed instruments, and I am not wrong in saying there are empirical models available which can help the leadership or members of board of directors to calculate these risks even in numbers. Okay, so it is practically possible. If you don't do this, it is another thing. But when it comes to production of empirical evidence in numbers, all of these risks which are mentioned here, you have instruments available for this. So risk analysis, how we will do: we will recognize the risk, we will assess the risk, that is it going to impact on my business or not. We will evaluate it, that okay, it can impact, but will it happen or not. And then we will make policies, and then we will monitor this policy in order to avoid this risk. So these are different steps. What sort of legal cases can emerge? Legal cases can emerge with regard to the liabilities of individuals, members of board of directors, and the company. For example, a boiler in the company burst, or there was a fire. Who will be responsible? Members of board of directors can become responsible, or the top leadership can become responsible for this, because they did not do the risk management in advance, or maybe the money which they had to spend on buying this fire equipment, they spent this money on increasing their own salary. So if this type of issue is discovered, then it will be a huge problem for the board. Yes. The next topic which I'm going to discuss is corruption. So just to connect it with the previous topic, if you know that this is a risk and you are not doing the risk management, I think that you are doing corruption. Okay, so let's look into the topic of corruption, because many of you, I know that you will face this, and some of you who are planning to practice in financial sector, they will face certain cases as a lawyer of different clients who will be accused of corruption. So let's look into this topic. We will define corruption. We will see how corruption affect corporate governance. We will examine the implications of different patterns of bribery and money laundering. So bribery, to give bribe, and money laundering. It is very important to understand what is bribery. Yes, sometimes it happens that we are taking bribes or giving bribes. For example, happy birthday in the office. So there is the happy birthday, there is a birthday of your boss, and everyone is, now contributing money to buy a gift for the boss, to make boss happy so that the boss should be happy. So it is a kind of bribery. Yes, so you are uh, celebrating his or her birthday in order to get benefits from this person. Okay, so you can just close your eyes and you can imagine how many types of briberies are going on which we don't consider as bribery because they have become the part of our subconscious mind. Okay, so it is very important to examine what exactly the bribery is, to identify how to control or eradicate corruption and organizational failure. So good corporate governance, there are three pillars that bear on behavior of the board. Governance refers to rules and policies. Rules and policies should be working. Culture refer to habits and expectations. As I told you that uh, certain things becomes the part of our subconscious mind and we don't think that it is good or bad. And then power and leadership refer to the extent to which people command and control versus inspires to connect and collaborate. So what should be the ideal corporate governance structure? People should take you as an example. If you are a board member, people should be inspired by your personality, by your professional attributes, your skill set. It is a type of good impression on your employees. But if they are worried or if they are threatened by you, then it is not a good leadership skill, or you are using your power to influence the individuals instead of connecting and collaborating, instead of becoming friend with them. You are commanding and controlling them and you are kind of pushing them. Okay, so this type of behavior will definitely will not consider as a good corporate governance attribute. So here is a comparison of good and bad corporate governance. Good governance calls for rule of law, transparency and accountability, good performance and productivity. Good performance and productivity, I will connect it with this one, reliability and high operational standards. So you as a member of board of directors should strive for increasing the profit of the company. You should not just focusing on running of the company, that okay, company is running, we are getting minimum amount of money, everything is going well, like our state departments. Yes, so state department, they don't think about maximizing the benefit, they just think about okay, everything is running, it is good. So good corporate governance expect that you should think about increasing the productivity. Okay, citizens as a client of government, we as a citizen are the client of government. Government serve us and in return we pay taxes. So coherency and high leadership quality and higher shared value, these are the attributes of good governance. On the other side, when we talk about weak legal system or no rule of law, lack of transparency, corruption, crime, lack of accountability, who was at fault? We don't know whose fault was this. Yes, poor performance and inefficiency. Taxpayer take the burden of on corruption, no money for health, education, and sanitation, poor quality of services, low citizen engagement and trust, resistant to innovation, no leadership qualities. These things are bad governance. Okay, and bad governance, inefficiency, red tape. Red tape means bureaucracy. Yes, so many documents to sign. Bumajnaya rabota. So many documents you need to prepare for doing a very simple task. Corruption and secrecy. On the other side, good governance is about rule of law, transparency, participation, accountability, and sustainability. So business culture, the positive and negative impact of good corporate governance practices. The foundation of governance practices are based on past legacies or past experiences. Past legacies and past experiences, just for the sake of example, you can go into any state department and you will find people who feel proud in their Soviet legacy. Yes. So they feel proud on the Soviet legacy, and they are still carrying this thing with them, even though we are living in a liberal, progressive, and democratic society. Market structure has changed, and of course the governance structure has also changed, but still people are stick to their past, and they are very proud of their legacy. Similarly, authoritarian versus democratization and international influence, these are the foundation of governance practices. And of course, internal controls are very important. Vnútorní pravidla, or internal regulations, should be uh, made in a way that they should be facilitating the smooth running of the company, as well as abiding by the national and international standards. Okay, so internal regulations or compliance is also very important, which can have long term positive and negative consequences on your business. So negative impact, if we talk about bad corporate governance, the negative impact on shareholder is their financial investment is reduced, or in many cases their financial investment will just simply destroyed or disappear. Those of you who have invested in cryptocurrency, you know about this phenomena very well. And employees, they lose their job security and pension benefits they will not get, and suppliers of goods and services, they will fail to the firms. And we have seen this what happened during the COVID-19. Those companies who were not able to make a digital supply chain could not figure out how to deliver the products because of different logistical complications during the COVID time. They suffered huge losses. Yes, a huge economic impact on the local and international communities in which these firms operate. So, ladies and gentlemen, question: why have such collapse occurred? What can be done to prevent such collapse happening again? To do the risk management and to increase the accountability and transparency, make strategy and policy with regard to risk, and increase the transparency and accountability. This is the answer to this question. So now the corruption, ladies and gentlemen, very important definition. What is corruption? It is the misuse of power by someone to whom it has been entrusted for their own private gain. So you trust on someone and he is using this trust for its own private gain. This is corruption. We trust you and make you politician. We trust you and make you politician. But instead of taking care of us, you are taking care of your own business. So it means you are doing corruption. Political corruption is the use of power by government officials or their network contacts for illegitimate private gain. So this is something which we are familiar of. This is the corruption. Causes of corruption. There are different causes of corruption. What causes of corruption? Low incomes. If the salary is very low, or the country is poor, it is highly likely that the corruption rate will go up. Poor countries has corruption because If you are not getting enough salary, what you will do, you will definitely do corruption. Armed conflict, if there is a civil war, just imagine Ukraine. Yesterday you were living in a house and today your house is destroyed. Now it will take you one generation to rebuild this house, and you want to speed up the process, for which purpose you will do corruption. Corruption undermines democratic institution and processes, say by distorting electoral processes. Yes, corruption perverts the rule of law and creates bureaucratic quagmires that exist solely to solicit bribes. Okay, so corruption also discourage foreign direct investment. If your country is corrupt, investors will not come, they will not like to invest in your country because there is corruption. They cannot trust on the individuals are very important for their investment. What causes the corruption? Political and economic causes, lack of professional ethics and legislation, and ethnological factors. I will just talk about ethnological factors. So there are so many customs, habit, and traditions which cause corruption, and we don't think that they are corruption. As I told you about the birthday, it is a normal phenomena in our culture, in our Asian culture, to give gifts on the birthdays. Excuse me. On the other side, it is a type of corruption, that you are giving gift to someone for getting unnecessary benefit from him. Yes, this is an ethnological factor of corruption. So impact of corruption: projects are overpriced, large, and complex. We have seen this in our country as well. Yes, an increase in public investment, a fall in average productivity of investment, reduction in public spending, and impact on employment. These are economic, social, and psychological costs of corruption. Here you can see, I couldn't find the latest data. When I opened this website, um, I I thought that I could find the latest one, but I think because of the COVID-19 they did not do this study. So you can see, in most of the part of the world, police is the most corrupt. Legislatures, um, and government officials, they follow them. So law enforcement agencies are the most corrupt institute in most of the countries. Okay, and then you can find others as well: business executives, tax officials, prime minister, president, judges and magistrate, traditional leaders and religious leaders. They are also corrupt, but the award goes to gold medal goes to the police and legislature, our brothers. We are the brothers of lawyers, are the brothers of police and legislatures. So where are the people more likely to pay bribes? Congratulations, Uzbekistan is also there. My country Pakistan is also there. So these are the countries in which people pay bribe for governmental services. Yes, governmental services means uh, when you go to make a passport or ID card, or these sort of things, you to achieve the benefit from the governmental services, you have to pay bribe. Types of corruptions: there are two main types of corruptions: bribery and money laundering. So bribery and money laundering, these are two main types of corruption. Bribery, it is offering, promising, giving, accepting, soliciting of an advantage as an enticement for an action which is illegal, unethical, or breach of trust. Simply speaking, you give money for doing something which is illegal, unethical, or breach of trust. So for for this thing to be happened, you pay bribe. Bribes can be gifts, loans, fees, rewards, or other advantages. Okay. And this is money laundering. Now, money laundering, you have heard about money laundering. Let me explain the phenomena of money laundering. So money laundering is placing dirty money in a service company where it is layered with legitimate income and then integrated into the flow of money. So what happens? You collect the dirty money, you do corruption, Then you send this money outside of the country. There you do the layering. Layering means you invest this money into different businesses, and then you make profit out of this, and then you bring this money back to your country and you say, this is the money which came as a profit from my business which is outside, maybe Dubai or Turkey, yes, or maybe in European Union or some other part of the world. So you do corruption, and you cannot keep this money in the banks. You send this money outside, invest this money into different businesses, and then you bring this money back. This is called as money laundering. Laundering means cleaning. So you make dirty money and then you clean it through this process and bring this money back to the country. Then other forms of the corruption, graft. Graft is a political corruption. Embezzlement, when a person holding an office in an institution, organization, or company dishonestly or illegally appropriates, uses, or traffics the funds and goods that have been entrusted with for a personal enrichment or other activities. So you divert the money flow towards something else to get personal benefits from it. Nepotism is very common. Nepotism is the power or influence of favoring relatives and friends. This is Tanish Bilish. You know about Tanish Bilish, yes? So Tanish Bilish is nepotism, and it is the use of your uh, power to accommodate the unjustifiable needs of your friends and relatives. Clientelism and lobbying. So clientelism is a unique, unequal system of exchanging resources and favors based on an exploitative relationship between a wealthier or more powerful patron or less wealthy or weaker client. So I give you an example. You have a business, a restaurant. You have opened a restaurant, and someone from the tax department comes to you and he says that you owe us $500 tax, and you know that you have to pay the tax. So he gives you a package. He says that either you will pay tax or you can give us lunch and dinner every day. And now you will calculate. When you will calculate, you will say that if I give them lunch and dinner, I will save money, which is $500, because the amount of lunch and dinner will be much more less than the money which you are planning to spend. So you start giving them lunch and dinner and you avoid taxes. This is the type of clientelism in which they are using their force, and you are weaker, but still you know that you are doing something wrong. Lobbying means different people, they group up and they try to drag the stream of finances towards their project. So in any company, there might be some people who manipulate the mechanism, and they are the group of people who join hands together and then they drag this financial benefits or any other type of benefits towards themselves. Stages of money laundering. Placement, as I told you, placement is that you send money outside. Layering mean you invest this money into some business or into something which is unable to be detected, and then you integrate into back to your economy. You bring this money back, and now it is clean money. How it is done? You do the smuggling of the money. You send this money through hawala, without banking channels, through individuals, like pay me money here in Uzbekistan and that person will give you money in Turkey. Now you send money like this, and this does not involve any financial institution, which means that government cannot take tax. So it is currency smuggling. Bank complicity. Sometimes banks are involved and facilitate the process of money laundering. Currency exchange, securities brokers, blending of fund, asset purchase. These are some of the examples through which you can do money laundering. Okay. Corporate corruption. So corporation as a structure also does corruption. Okay. So it is not always individuals who does corruption. The corporations also do the corruption. So ladies and gentlemen, this was all about corruption, and I think that you have got the idea. And now we will do one or two cases. Do you have any question with regard to what we have discussed up till now? Singapore, New Zealand, Scandinavian countries have been great at eradicating corruption in great extent. Why then other countries who are lacking regarding and when instances of corruption rates are not simply implementing the experience of those aforementioned? Uzbekistan is no exception. Yeah, I'm agree with you, and many times, this question has been asked to me with regard to not with regard to corruption, but with regard to my area of expertise, which are digitalization, e-government, and technology law. The question of Mijdonorodny Oput. So I personally think that every country does not need international experience. The thing is that the approach should be customized, localized. By using the international experience means that you want to incorporate their standards and preferences and values, or you are prioritizing their standard and preferences and values over your own, which is highly complicated, requires top down or bottom up approach. I don't know, but it is very difficult to change the mindset of individuals, which require maybe 50 or 100 years of capacity building. This is the answer to this. It is good that you can import something which is instrumental, for example, a software, a technology, a mechanism, let's say, which can help to reduce the corruption. But when it comes to the individuals, when it comes to something which is related to the standard and preferences, moral value, it is very difficult to change, which requires a lot of time, and most of the time people give up. They say that why we should be worried about this. That is the reason that you might have seen that in our Central Asian countries, the most corrupt people are in anti-corruption department. Yes, and there is a type of form of government which is called as kakistocracy, KAKISTOCRACY. Kakistocracy is a form of government which is done by the worst people in the society. So the worst people in the society are ruling the people. This is called as kakistocracy. It is not democracy, it is kakistocracy. So to summarize everything, when it comes to the Singapore or Scandinavia or the other countries which are performing very well in certain indexes, I think that instrumental knowledge can be beneficial. You can import technologies, you can import mechanisms, but when it comes to the supervisory role of this technology, who is sitting there? Individuals are sitting there, humans are sitting there, and to change their mentality, it is very difficult. You can bring a very sophisticated program, but still a human will supervise it, and they will find their ways. So for this purpose, a very deep mindset change, or the capacity building on neurological level is required, for which I think will take time.